Hey folks, welcome to the Cassius Show. Thank you very much for tuning in today. We have a guest on the phone calling in from California. He's from a band called Kill the Precedent. He's their vocalist, Twig. Hey, Twig.
Hey, how's it going?
Kill the Precedent must be pretty high off their release of the EP Some Version of the Truth on Minus Head Records. So first off, congratulations on that. So talk to me about the process of recording the EP. What was it like?
It was a pretty drawn out process on this one, just because everyone had certain shit going on. It took about a year just to do an EP, just because everyone living in different areas and to get into the studio. So we just recorded every once in a while whenever we felt like it. Wrapped it up in about a year later for 7 songs.
Awesome. Now, did you expect it to take that long?
No, not at all. I mean, we were going into the studio just to record a 4-song. We're gonna put out a digital 4-song release, and then Minus Head wanted to release it like they put out, the last one, and so we wrote a couple more songs actually in the studio to make it just a 7-song EP. Those actually were the quickest songs to record, because we wrote them in there, recorded them the next day. But the other 4 took quite some time.
Okay, interesting. So let's talk about when you guys formed back in Sacramento, California. What was the inspiration to form a group? Because it says here that you were very interested in bringing urgency and danger back into music. So how did you set about doing that?
Well, we've all played together in previous bands, but at 10 years ago or whatever, we were all doing separate projects, and I wanted to be able to put together a band where I could play any kind of music I wanted, not just stick to like a punk or a metal or hardcore. And we wanted to put on a great live show. We wanted to and I'm sick of some of the crap that was going on. We wanted to make sure that, if we got this together and we put on a live show, we were going to do the video and theme and dancing, people dancing up there next to us and all that other stuff. And we just never knew what exactly we were going to do on stage. Just kind of left that up to how we felt probably just at that moment.
Right.
Which ended up being some people, depending on the show, people get hurt. Just depends on how it goes.
Yeah, and I've heard that things can be quite crazy. I've heard it can be anything from a zombie beach party to cops versus robbers on stage, and even Boy Scouts. That's a pretty controversial one.
The Cops and Robbers was the one where we dressed up, Ugly American and I dressed up, and people actually thought we were bouncers and cops and started showing us up when we were out front, showing us their IDs to get in. It's like, no.
That's hilarious. I need to confiscate all the joints out of your pockets, please, and thank you.
Yeah, right.
It's perfect.
Exactly.
Let's talk about your name, because the full name for the band is Twig the Exfoliator. What does that name come from?
Everyone we don't care about regular names on there. Who cares who the hell we are? We're nobodies. So let's make up some names, and everyone thought about their own. I wanted mine to sound like it was like a hard name, like the Exfoliator sounds hard, but basically it's just because I'm mildly abrasive.
You mentioned that you don't like having your music kind of put into a box of a certain genre. However, if you were forced to explain your music to somebody who hadn't heard it before, what would the term be that you use to describe your music?
Depending on if they know that much music. I mean, to somebody that probably doesn't know that many bands, I just try to say it's somewhat, mixed between Ministry and Minor Threat. But more is just like Pigface meets Jane's Addiction sometimes. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's aggressive, but it's aggressive music you can dance to.
Yeah, a cavalcade of music for sure. As a group from California, what are your thoughts on Coachella?
That's Southern California, so that's pretty far away.
Mm-hmm.
I've never even been. I know that when I was living, I've been living in downtown or down in LA the last year and a half, and when that thing happens, fucking traffic fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Once they're out there in the desert, it's great because you get them out of there. It looks miserable, but I mean, it's a great idea. I wouldn't go. I think they did Coachella after that, right, with all the other bands.
Roger Waters and them. And my reason for asking is because they had Guns N' Roses at the regular Coachella, and there was a lot of controversy about so many people going out there and pretending to be Guns N' Roses fans and wearing the merchandise. So I was going to lead into a follow-up question to ask you about that. What are your thoughts of people using like concert shirts as a fashion sense when they don't know the music?
That's been bugging me, actually. Thanks for bringing that up. When I got down to LA, I mean, I used to live in Burbank, and I was down there in like early 2000s, but I moved down there, like downtown, like Skid Row shit area. And I was asking, I went out to a bar. This girl had a Misfits shirt on. I'm like, oh, cool. So I said, where's all the like cool like dive bars or punk clubs, or where do you see bands around this area? And she's like, what? Well, you got a Misfits shirt on. She's like, oh, no, this is how I feel. So what the fuck do you mean this is how you feel? You feel like a misfit? And that's happened a couple times with different bands' T-shirts out there. And it's a complete fashion statement. You can tell they're all brand new shirts. I should have known better.
It's unreal. There was actually a funny video of James Hetfield from Metallica reacting to people wearing that and judging whether or not they were actually a fan. I think that's worth checking out.
I gotta check that out. That'd be awesome.
Why can't he be a Metallica fan? I mean, if he's wearing it just for fashion, I think he could pick some better shirts than that. Goth Madonna, it looks like. That's some crazy hair.
Another question about California. Do you think that people who are trying to make it in the music industry, moving from other places and joining the people in California is going to be a good move for their career, or do you think that at this point in 2017 it doesn't make much of a difference?
I definitely don't think it makes a difference. I don't think it made a difference a long time ago. I mean, you move out to California maybe for contacts, but I mean, no matter where you're from, if you're out there and you're touring, I mean, you could be there are a lot of bands that are huge just from some little hick town out in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. Moving out to California, like most people are trying to be writers and actors and whatever. And all the people I've met are all ridiculous. They're not going to make it. I think if you're a hardworking musician and if you want to be recognized and you get out there and put in all the legwork, you'll get recognized. If you're coming out to California, you're going to get buried because there's so many fucking people. There's so many bands. I mean, I remember back in like the 90s looking at Book Your Own Fucking Life magazine, mm-hmm. and like going through, there was obviously more contacts in LA than anywhere else, but I can't remember what the other was, Maxim Rock and Roll or something like that, some other spin-off of that. It was like punk bands back then. There was like, I don't know, 40, 60 in each town when you go to look at it. There was like 4,200 just in a little area in California. Trying to get a show down in LA, unless you're recognized by another band or you're friends with them, you're not going to get a show down there.
Yeah.
You get buried down there, and there's too many bands, too many.
Right. It's almost like people are moving themselves into a more competitive market in a way. Yeah,
and people say that. Like, I've been living down here for four years, and I haven't been able to play a show. And they'll play some little dive bar that no one will see because no one goes to that. They all want to go to the hip clubs and stuff like that. You have to be out there for a while. You can't just move down here unless you're joining some other band that's already established.
Talking about rock and metal in 2017, there's lots of tours. Guns N' Roses, Roger Waters, and many more bands are on the road. Are there any tours you're looking forward to hitting, and is there any bands that you think shouldn't be on the road and should retire?
Let's see. I've got the Hall & Oates coming up.
Nice.
I'm going to go to that. The day before, I'm going to see Run the Jewels.
Oh, cool.
They're always great to see them. I'm really excited about that. What else I got? I like all kinds of different music. I got Band of Horses tickets. So I'm going to see them. And a band that should retire.
Yeah.
We weren't just talking about Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should. I had a friend go to their concert in Copenhagen and said it was they walked off stage after a couple of songs.
Really?
They said they weren't good enough that night and they couldn't perform.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Weird.
I've had terrible thoughts about Metallica for a while now. It's getting a little ridiculous. But I might buy tickets to go see Gojira. Well, man, thanks so much for coming on the show. We appreciate you calling in. Where can people find the new EP, Some Version of the Truth?
You can go to minusheadrecords.com and pick it up there. It's available at iTunes, Spotify, or you can hit it. There's links to it, I think, on our Facebook page at Killer President Sacramento, I think it is.
Awesome. What about the double entendre with the name? Are people getting threatened by that, especially with the new president?
Well, it was Kill the President 10 years ago. I changed it, but that was it was all based on conspiracy theory that when you say that, on the phone, it goes straight, gets hooked up to the CIA and they come after you.
Oh boy.
And that's what we wanted to do. So what are you doing tonight? I'm going to kill the president. They're playing down the street. And that was the whole thing to block up their lines. And so
there's been a huge terror alert in the States lately.
Yeah, Sacramento's getting hit hard.
That's hilarious.
Thank you so much, and have a good one.
Cool. Have a great day.